Sinning. It's referred to in the Greek as missing the mark or the target, like an archer shooting an arrow at a target. You don't have to be religious to sin. Sinning could be something that you know you should do, but you don't do it. Or it could be something that you know you shouldn't do, and you still do it. So you don't have to be religious for this. But I'm going to talk about how sinning, in both of those contexts, secular and religious, makes pride and arrogance a practice of your life, and how it inflates those two feelings, along with narcissism, ego, all the bad stuff that we consider bad. When you sin in those two contexts, it's almost as if you're looking at two different texts that are right in front of you. One of the texts says, I like this, I'm going to do it. That text is basically written by you as a person. And the other text says, do not do this, and that's all it says. So now you have two things and two options in front of you, very similar to the analogy of the angel and the devil on the shoulder. Except now the devil is you and the angel is maybe a rule you've written for yourself in the past for you, and maybe it's God for you. Maybe it's a teacher you know you should listen to, a professor, a mentor, many different things that the angel could be for you in your given situation. But you have these two decisions and these two options to pick from, and when you sin, you pick the option that you created instead of the option that was either created by you in the past or created by somebody else for you to help you and has the best intentions in mind for you. When you do this, you inadvertently and subconsciously inflate your ego, inflate your pride, and inflate your arrogance and ignorance of someone else's truth or truth that you disagree with. You literally turn yourself into, maybe at the worst, a sociopathic narcissist, and at the best, someone with an anger problem or an extreme pride problem that acts like they have an opposition defiant disorder. And when you sin in those two contexts, as I stated earlier, over and over again, and it gets easier and easier for you to do it, you all of a sudden make a practice of becoming more prideful and arrogant. And all of a sudden, maybe months down the road, maybe you realize it quicker, maybe weeks down the road, you see that every time somebody suggests something while you're doing something, this goes especially for my gamers out there. I love video games, man. But I've noticed I've had to put a time limit on them, not because they're a sin for me, but it's something that I love so much and so deeply that for a moment I had to put a time limit on these things. And the reason I had to was because in other areas of my life I was sinning in both the contexts, religiously towards God and towards myself, rules I had made for myself. And video games is an example in this context. The example is when you're playing the video game, or when I was playing my video game inside of these mental frames where I had made a super big practice of sinning, whatever that may be in my life and in your life as well. Whenever I was playing the game and somebody asked me to do something else while I was playing the game, or before I planned to play the game, before I was about to, I would get extremely angry and pissed off at the person and at myself because I had not realized that I was making a practice of sinning and choosing my own opinion over somebody else's opinion, and not taking into account these other people's opinion of people in my life who love me, my family, my fiance, future to be wife, my brothers, my best friend, things like that, right? And so when you're constantly making a practice of choosing your own opinion that you think is best, choosing your desires that is from you, your animalistic behavior, you automatically, subconsciously turn yourself into a more angry person, less go with the flow kind of person, less relaxed kind of person, and it fuels your pride and your arrogance. I hope this makes sense. If anything was confusing, comment down below so I can reply to you and maybe we can have a little bit of a discussion about it. I appreciate y'all for watching. It's been Max. See you later.